All right, folks, let's get into some good old Ford earnings. Obviously, one that I have a decent position in, so always an earnings report I'm looking forward to and seeing what can happen. Pretty choppy trading after hours, but mostly positive. We did see a dip down to where it was down a little bit, but overall, right now, sitting still up 1.5%. There were some higher, percentage points than that, but pretty nice. So let's take a look at what this company has to offer in terms of this earnings report. So this is right here what we're looking at. Quarter to four non-GAAP EPS of 34 cents beats by 43 cents, but a GAAP EPS of negative 70 cents misses by 44 cents. Ooh. And if you remember my predictions of this, I've said Ford often disappoints me. And this kind of doesn't shock me in terms of the GAAP EPS line. Not a huge shocker. But I was hoping for better. Revenue of $36 billion, decreased 9.3% year over year, in line there. So not awful, but when the broad market sank by that percentage, it's not horrible. They actually outpaced some of their competitors in this period as well. So still not a beautiful number there. There's no doubt about it. Adjusted EBITDA though was sitting at 1.7 billion versus a consensus of 230. So I wonder what this adjustment really is. So from Jim Farley right now, CEO says the transformation of Ford is happening, and so is our leadership of the EV revolution and development of autonomous driving. We're now allocating a combined $29 billion in capital and tremendous talent in those two areas and bringing customer high volume, connected electric SUVs, commercial vans, and pickup trucks. So huge focus obviously on electric, as it is going to be the future for the auto industry. They're really focused on electric and getting the vehicles out for competition there, compete with the others. So here's the slides here, 73 slides. I'm not obviously going to go under all of them, but we're going to go around and focus on some of the pretty exciting ones. As far as highlights, they generated $1.9 billion of adjusted free cash flow. Interesting, we'll see that. Ford of Europe had its strongest quarter of profit in 4 years, so that's something to think about. They successfully launched 3 new vehicles that have exemplified the direction of Ford: the all-electric Mustang Mach-E and the F-150, as well as the Bronco Sport. So pretty exciting stuff. The Bronco, pretty nice looking vehicle. I can't lie to you. The Bronco it's one that I wouldn't mind having. Through year end, they've invested $7 billion already in electrification, on their way to investing $22 billion by 2025. And first company to announce plans for an all-electric van, E-Transit, and an all-electric pickup in the F-150. So the E-Transit and the F-150, they got both a van and a pickup. They're the first company to do that, but they've only announced it. They don't have it for delivery there. Here's your Mustang Mach-E. Just look at that. So pretty exciting stuff as far as the results are concerned. Again, your adjusted free cash flow up big stuff. Revenue, though, saw a 3.8% decline. They give these adjusted numbers. I'm kind of big on the EPS line, but for the full year, this is where it really tells a story. Full year adjusted free cash flow is down $2.1 billion. Revenue down $28.8 billion. Adjusted EBIT for the year down $3.6 billion. So crazy stuff. Obviously a year that completely wrecked them, and there's no shocker that this is the case. I mean, we had factories shut down, we had auto parts costing a lot more. It just makes sense, and the investments in electric, not a shocker. So as far as some of the announcements here, they're ceasing manufacturing in Brazil. The portfolio will consist of vehicle strengths, connected and increasingly electrified SUVs, pickups, and commercial vans, sourced from Argentina, Uruguay, and other markets for Brazil. So obviously that's important to see. As far as actions, they discontinued the Focus, the Fiesta, and heavy truck, closed and sold the Sao Bernardo facility, and launched asset-light partnerships with Nordex for transit in Uruguay. You like how I say that one? I heard you did. I heard you did. So obviously that had an impact on their in that. See, for new products, they're adjusting. The Bronco Sport here is in dealers as of November 2020. It's the first in the new Bronco family. Pretty nice. The Mustang Mach-E is in dealers 2020. They're also somehow the 2021 North American Utility Vehicle of the Year. I don't know how you get that award when the year just started. And they're also the best car to buy 2021. But the year just started. How many times is this award going to be given out? The Ford F-150 is in December 2020, obviously the new F-150. They're also 2021's North American Truck of the Year. I mean, I don't know. What the heck? F-Series is the number one pickup for 44 years and the best-selling vehicle for 39 years. That one you can't deny. But again, 2021 North American Truck of the Year? Come on, guys. I hate that. Car companies always make up these, there's always these fake awards. And honestly, movies do it too. I guess it's in every industry, really. And the number one this is the must-watch film of 2020. You know, you hear that one? And you're like, well, you said that about the last 10, you know? But, well, who's to say? I mean, who's to say? I don't know, okay? Oh, look at this Bronco, baby. The iconic nameplate returning after 25 years. Look at the Bronco, baby. Orders open January 2021, and there are more than 190,000 reservations already, exceeding expectations. Really nice if people stick to their guns. That'll be a lot. I think a lot of people will be for the nostalgia factor, but also the appearance-wise. The Bronco's not that bad looking. It's a good-looking vehicle. So, first deliveries will begin in summer of 2021. I think it's going to be a really big vehicle for them, the Bronco. I think it's going to really do well. In the F-150 Raptor, it's the most off-road capable and connected F-150 Raptor ever, obviously, because it's newer. And that'll be available in showrooms summer 2021. Obviously, the Mach-E, big stuff. The E-Transit being electric, massive. And the F-150 EV, baby. We're going to talk about the F-150 electric. It's going to be a huge deal. They're going to have to do a lot on there. I mean, the F-150 being the number one selling vehicle as is. Can they make that happen with the electric? Who knows? That's what they're going to need to do to really, smash some of the competition. And you've seen some of the issues here this year as far as cash flow is concerned, but they've kind of turned it around in a decent standpoint. Crazy stuff. Yeah, it's been crazy. So, and no doubt you see here with the adjusted EBITDA, it's been rough out here. It's been rough. I mean, there's only so much you can do with everything going on here. Only so much you can do. They're trying their best to see what they can do. These are the slides that aren't super exciting. And that's why we skip after that. That's really what I wanted to show you, obviously, to the press release now. A little bit better idea of some of these numbers here. So they begin deliveries of the Mustang Mach-E and F-150. That's exciting. And the Bronco Sport. And they revealed the E-Transit electric van. That's exciting. Could be a lot of stuff there. The company is projecting $8 to $9 billion in adjusted EBITDA in 2021, which would be massive after this year in which they brought in 2.8 or 3.8, I think it was. Or I think it was 2.8, yeah. So it would be massive seeing that, including a $900 million non-cash gain on Rivian, their investment in electrification there with Rivian. Obviously a partnership there, so pretty crazy. Net income line, which I think is important. Last year, I mean, compared to this year, not crazy from a GAAP perspective. 1.7 billion last year, 2.8 this year. It is definitely quite the decrease there. I mean, you don't like to see it, but from a GAAP perspective, just it's not beautiful. I can't lie to you what that company's doing. But again, year over year, I take it as somewhat of a win to only decrease that by, to really increase that debt, I guess, by 1.1 billion. I'll take it as somewhat of a win. Seems crazy because everything going on there, but I also really want to look at the balance sheet as we continue this because we know what's going on, but I need to know how the balance sheet's been affected by this year. Thankfully, they give me a full year comparison so we can see. On the far right is what we're looking for this year. Total current assets sitting at 116.7 billion. That compares to 114 billion of the year prior. Total assets in general sitting at 267 billion compared to 258 billion. So not much movement there. Increase around 9 billion in terms of total assets. My concern is going to be the liability line. I don't want it to be that bad, but again, we got to look. Let's venture on, see what we got. Total current liabilities, 97.1 billion. Okay, that compares to 98.1. A little bit of a decrease. Okay, I like to see that. Total liabilities in general sitting at 236 billion versus 225. Hey, you know what? I'm not too upset by that. Total stockholder equity did fall, and that's over a year's period. 30.8 billion right now compares to 33.2. But all things considered, that's not that bad for a year in which their business was hammered. The auto market was hammered, and we're finally seeing some recovery. And could be in terms of could be there for a cyclical gain here, where the auto market turns up this year, and I think it will when they start bringing electric vehicles into the game. So that's actually pretty exciting as far as the balance sheet's concerned. A lot of people might disagree on this, but I frankly think Ford's a buy. I mean, I can't. You can't argue the valuation on this company. Again, it's a stock that doesn't move much. It really doesn't. And if you look from a full year perspective, let's see, which I think they'll give me here. Maybe they won't, but we can go back on these slides. Because from a full year perspective, this company is criminally undervalued. From a full year last year, in an awful down year, they put up 127 billion. Would you believe that I told you this stock is right now trading at a market cap of $44 billion? I mean, we're trading this stock like it's just out of business. How is that at all fair? $128 billion, yet it's trading at 1/3 the value of that. Is that crazy to anyone else? I think it's a little bit crazy. I think this stock valuation is fair, and I do think eventually, when we get that dividend back, which maybe not this year, we'll see. But I do think this stock could take off because those value investors might find their way back. I still think the stock's undervalued. Whether you think that's worthy of a buy or not is you, but you can't deny it's undervalued. We'll put that aspect there. Company is not getting treated fairly. That's what I got for you today, and I hope you enjoyed.